Hey, so time for a quick midsection recap and congratulations. Firstly, congratulations, you've almost learnt enough C++ to write pretty much any program. But if you were to just use the structures we've showed you so far, plus a little sprinkling of if or switch, which we'll meet soon, then your code would be almost impossible to read for a complex project. And even this simple FBullCowGame is getting sufficiently complex that we need to introduce another tool in our armory. And that tool is something called the class. Now, a class is called a class because mathematicians came up with the idea. These days, we'd probably call it a type. You've already used a class, actually. You've used string, and string is beyond the basic primitive types that we started with. We started with int, which is a primitive type. We've also seen bool, which is another primitive type, meaning you don't even need to import a library to use it. And then, quite quickly, we wanted access to string, and that came somewhere because we introduced IOStream as a library, and somewhere in there it had a standard namespace, and somewhere in there was a string. And a string is a user-defined type, which is another way of saying a class. What a class does is it packages together functions and variables into a package that allows you to talk in a very consistent way to it as if it's a black box. A class is a form of abstraction. It should represent something real or something conceptual. So in the case of FBullCowGame, of course, a FBullCowGame is really a concept. So we're going to be building ourselves a class that makes a black box that allows us to do things like say, okay, FBullCowGame, make a new game. Okay, FBullCowGame, go and pick a 7-letter word and don't tell me what it is. Okay, FBullCowGame, here's my guess. Tell me how many bulls and cows it's got in it. Okay, FBullCowGame, tell me if the game is won. Okay, FBullCowGame, tell me how many turns I've got left. That sort of stuff. Put all that logic over in a separate class called FBullCowGame. We're actually going to prefix it with F because that's the way that Unreal does things. F FBullCowGame. And we're going to only talk to this thing using methods. We're not going to directly access any of its data, any of its variables, any of its own integers and bools and stuff. That's all its business. We just need to create a really clear and simple interface to it so that in this console game we can call it and it gives us what we need and does what we need to do. And in future we can take the same class and not modify it very much in the next section when we actually build this into a 3D game in the Unreal Engine. So that's the idea. That's what we're striving for. We're making a black box. It's another tool to allow ourselves to work at a higher level of abstraction and hence to keep a limited number of things in our mind at one point. As the problem gets more big and more complex, the way to make sure it doesn't occupy more than 5 to 10 slots in our mind is that you just make the slots represent bigger things. And therefore we need higher level tools such as classes. Apart from anything, if you don't understand classes, you've got no chance when we hit the Unreal Engine. So let's dive in, learn about classes, learn about a whole load of other exciting programming tools, and I'll see you at the end of the section.